Hello everyone, I hope you had a good week. Today I wanted to make an announcement regarding my Twitch streaming schedule, and I might switch to YouTube streaming later on, but for right now I'm doing Twitch streams. As some of you might know, I do them on Tuesday and on Saturdays at 9 p.m. GMT. That is gonna change because recently I've found that I've had a little bit more free time on my evenings, so I decided to go with something that I really wanted to do for a while now, which is three streams per week, and that's gonna be on Tuesdays, and I hope to have it written up there, so just have the schedule over there. That's gonna be on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays, and I'm gonna start 1 hour later than I usually start, and that's gonna be on 9 p.m. GMT. Basically, so if you're on the UK or on Portugal, you have it's 10 p.m. Did I say 9 p.m.? It's 10 p.m. GMT. It's for Central Europe, that's gonna be 11 p.m. GMT, and for Eastern Europe, that's gonna be midnight. And so it means that it's gonna be the midnight between Tuesday and Wednesday. And basically, yeah, you know what I mean. And if you're on the US or on the Americas, that's gonna be, let's see, I have the numbers over here. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm doing this mostly because on Tuesdays, I'm changing a little bit later, because on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, you know, it's weekday, so, you know, for those of you that work and that come back from school or whatever, 5 p.m., at least on the western side, is a little bit better than 4 p.m., so you guys can start joining me on the stream a little bit faster than normal. And, of course, I'm immensely appreciative of all the people that join me regularly on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing The Witcher 3 recently, and another reason why I want to add a new day is because I'm not going to do 3 times a week of Witcher 3. On Thursdays, so basically it's going to be Tuesdays and Saturdays is going to be The Witcher 3, but on Thursdays it's going to be a different game every week. Maybe we're going to come back to the same game every once in a while, but hopefully it's going to be a different game every week. And on the next week, so not this one, on the week after this one, I'm planning on streaming Stalker. Stalker Call of Pripyat modded. Call of Pripyat modded. Basically, I'm trying to get into the modding scene for Stalker, and a few of you guys have helped me get to know a few mods that I didn't know about, and I really want to try them out. But to do a full Let's Play series of it can be a little bit overtaxing, because I've been doing Stalker quite a lot, and we finished. We're gonna air the last episode of Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl pretty soon, if not already today. Basically, we're gonna start Clear Skies, so I want to do modding for Stalker on stream, and yeah, we have a few games that I really want to try as well. And if you want to give me any suggestions, I mean, you've asked for a lot of games. As soon as I finish with Witcher 3 on Tuesdays and Saturdays, I'm gonna start with Fallout New Vegas. So that's another game that I want to try out, but that's not gonna be on Thursdays. That's gonna be on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So yeah, that's just the announcement I wanted to make for this week. New streaming schedule, 3 times a week, starting 10 p.m. GMT. And the other time zones, because time zones are terrible, and it's really bad. Anyway, I hope to see you there. Another thing that I wanted to start doing on these weekly sort of updates, vlogs, not really a vlog, it's just an update, is to talk about the new releases of each week. That's something that we kind of did back when we had the Slaves to the Grind podcast, back I think a year ago already. Actually, I think it was in summer that we stopped doing it. Lure stopped being able to do it, yeah, so that was something that I kind of focused on, which is basically the news. And this week saw the release of 5 new RPGs, or kind of RPG related games, and yeah, it's usually busy weeks, so that's going to be something that I'm going to start doing on these weekly updates. It's going to be talking about the new games that are out there. And this week we saw, well, Mass Effect Andromeda came out to some interesting reviews. I haven't really been following too much that game, but yeah, I'm not really the one to talk about that, because I haven't been following it. But yeah, some of you might know about it, and some of you might want to check it out, or at least the reviews. Also, Narborian Saga got released earlier this week. Actually, it was Sunday, I think, that it was released. And Narborian Saga is an interesting game. I got all the links for you down in the description below. It's an interesting game for those of you that liked Sorcery, Steve Jackson's Sorcery. It's got a lot of dialogue, a lot of reading. It's more of a tabletop RPG sort of transposition into video games than Steve Jackson's Sorcery was. But it looks very interesting. I kind of wanted to do a series on it. I still might do a series on it, but it's not going to be right now. And I just don't have time, because this week saw the release of Battle Brothers. That's right, of course you know about Battle Brothers. It's a fantastic game. I love it. And I've had the honor of following it since the release. And yeah, just really glad to have these guys finally succeed, and the reviews have been stellar, and the reception has been stellar, and I am very happy for them. So, of course, we have also the Let's Play series. Also, Vikings Wolves of Midgard. I briefly looked at this game a few months ago, not on camera, just as I found about this game a few months ago, and it seemed interesting. It's basically a Diablo clone. It's not really a Diablo clone, but it's kind of a mixture of, it's got that sort of action RPG sort of gameplay. It's got a little bit of Dark Souls in it, although, yeah, kind of. But it's an interesting game. It's got released on PC and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I think. Apparently the reviews have been a little bit mixed. People complain that it's a little bit on the console-ish side of things, and for a roguelike, which is, what effectively Diablo is, maybe that's not ideal. But yeah, it's Vikings, about Vikings, and if you like Vikings, you might want to check that out. And also, we got the release of Invitra, which is a JRPG, an indie JRPG, and I don't know much about it. I'm not really much of a JRPG fan, so links down in the description if you want to check them out. I suggest you do. So what I've been watching this week is Bumpy McSquigum's Might and Magic 10, I was gonna say 5, but no, 10 Legacy streams. I've been watching his streams, and I've been watching his, because I can't go to his streams every day, and I've been watching his uploaded VODs on YouTube, and he's making his way through Might and Magic 5, again, I was gonna say 5. Might and Magic 10 Legacy. Might and Magic 10 was the last game released for the Might and Magic saga. It was kind of a rebirth of the saga. I think released back in 2012, and he's been playing it in Twitch, or at Twitch, or on Twitch. I don't know. He's been playing it there every night. Night for me, it's the afternoon for him. And links in the description below for his playlist and for his Twitch channel. So I highly suggest you join him. It's Bumpy McSquigums Gaming, I think, on Twitch. I don't really know, but yep, he's Bumpy McSquigums. So I think it is. I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah, links in the description. I hope to see you there. I'm usually around there, and it's a lot of fun. And yet another week that goes by, and another week that can't go by without a word of thanks for all of you that support me on Patreon. I got a new Patreon this week, and that's Joshua Ennis. Thank you so much for your support, and also thank you so much for all the other ones that are supporting me on Patreon, and for your continued support. That is Benji Namiknor, Jordan Kozart, Michael Grayson, Higher Ground Gaming, Robert Daffern, Casper, KJ Jorgensen. I don't know, should I say KJ? Just KJ? Thank you so much, KJ, Rob Anybody, and Paul Bible. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys are letting me just get a little bit closer towards my goal of doing YouTube full time, and who knows, maybe one day. Thank you so much. This week I was looking for quotes on battle, and because of Battle Brothers and war. And I remembered one of my favorite games of all time, really. Not really, outside of the RPG genre. Rome Total War, the original one, the first one. I played a lot of hours of the game, probably around 500 or something like that. I spent a whole summer just doing a couple of campaigns with Egyptians and all that. And one of the things that game really marked me for was the quotes that it had on the loading screens. And this was back in 2004, so the loading screens took quite a while. It's one of the reasons why I don't do battles too often in Rome Total War. And yeah, one of the quotes there was from Tacitus, and it's not really related to war directly or to battle, but I think it's related to a whole lot of things. It's more related to safety and security, and it's kind of weirdly relevant in today's political scene, or, landscape. Landscape's the word. So it goes something like this. The desire for safety stands against every great and noble enterprise. And I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.